Hello everyone, welcome to another video from PSN Solution. This time it's of Excel chapter 5 HOE Sociology 1.2. So let's read the project description, and it is saying you are the Vice President of Sociology Division at Ivory Horse Publishing Company. We have to analyze sales for the books. Okay. Organize data by discipline and interest sub-rows. Okay. You will also create pivot tables, gain a variety of perspective. For aggregate data, finally you will create a pie chart. So this is what we need to do in our assignment, and let's start this by reading the first step. It is saying that start Excel, download and open the file name Exp22 Sociology. I already have downloaded that file. You can see this is the file, and Creator has automatically added my last name to the start of our file at the beginning of the file name. Okay. Your first task is to sort the data on the book subtotal worksheet. Okay. Ensure the book subtotal worksheet is active. So this is the book subtotal worksheet and it is active, I am sure. Sort the data by discipline in alphabetical order. Sort the data by discipline in alphabetical order. So you can do the sort from here. Click here the custom sort. We have to click anywhere in the data and then custom sort. Discipline in alphabetical order. This is the alphabetical order A to Z, and further sorted by area in alphabetical order. Add another level, then by area in alphabetical order. So we have to use the custom sort to add our two level of sort, first by discipline and second by area, both in alphabetical order, and then click the OK. You will see that it will sort the data by discipline and by area, both in alphabetical order. So this was our second step. Now we will move on to the third step of our assignment, and it is saying that you want to subtotal the data set by discipline and then add a second set of subtotal by area. Okay, use subtotal feature to insert subtotal rows by discipline. Come to the data tab, then click got it. Then click here, then click the subtotal. Click the subtotal, and we have to subtotal the data at each change in discipline. Yes, we have to subtotal the data by discipline to calculate the total for the. We have to calculate the total. Okay. Sum. This function is right. Sales wholesale, sales wholesale. Second one is sales retail and total book sales. Sales retail and total book sales. You can see this. No other field is selected. So just click the OK, and it will subtotal the data according to the requirement. You can see that this is the subtotal that it has done. So second part of this step is, it is saying that without removing the first subtotal, insert subtotal by area to calculate the total for the same column. So we have to calculate the total for the same column by area. Okay. So first was by discipline, and then now we have to subtotal the data at each change in area for the same number of fields. Okay, sales wholesale, sales retail, and total book sale. Make sure you should uncheck that box, because if that box remain like that, it will erase the previous subtotal, and we don't want to erase that. So we will uncheck that box, so previous subtotal will also remain here, and it will also sort by each change in the area. Now we will click OK, and it will sort the data by area also. So this was our third step of our assignment, and we are done with it. Now what we have to do, it is saying that next you want to apply an outline to the columns. You want to apply an outlines to the columns, so you can collapse or expand the unit sold and unit price column. So you can collapse or expand the unit sold and unit price column. It is saying that you have to create an automatic outline. Okay, click anywhere in the data, come to the data tab, outline, and now click that arrow beneath the group and click the auto outline, modify the existing outline. It is asking us a question that you want to modify the existing outline. Yes, we want to modify it. So press OK, and it will be outlined accordingly. You can see here. Collapse the outline above column H and K. So this is the H column. We have to collapse that, and this is the K column. We have to collapse that as well. You can see this. Step number 4 is also done. Now we are moving on to the step number 5, our assignment, and it is saying that you want to create a recommended pivot table and then name it. Display the books data worksheet. Where is book data worksheet? This is the books data worksheet. And create a recommended pivot table. Click anywhere in the tab in the data here. If you click here, it will not recommend it. What's recommended? Create a recommended pivot table. If you click here, sorry, so click anywhere in the data and go to the insert tab, and then click the recommended pivot tables. When you click that, it will show the series of recommended pivot table, and what we want to create, it will depend upon the instructor requirement, and it is asking us to create a recommended pivot table using the sum of units sold thumbnail. Sum of units sold thumbnail, we have to look for that. Sum of units sold wholesale, sum of unit so here is the sum of units sold by discipline. Just click that, and the pivot table will be created automatically. So we have to change the name of the worksheet to the pivot table. How to change the worksheet? You can just double click and write the name, and you can also do it by right click and the rename. pivot table. There we go. Name the pivot table. We have to name the pivot table also. Total book sales. So this is the pivot table and we have to name it total books sales. Total book sales. Sorry, it's not book. We cannot make a single mistake of spelling, because if we do so, it will remove all of our marks. So this was our step number 5. Now we will move on to the step number 6 of our assignment, and it is saying that you want to compare the total books sale by discipline and copyright year. Compare total books sale by discipline and copyright year. What we have to do for this step, make sure these fields are in respective area. Remove the extra field. Replace the discipline field in rows. So this is the rows. This is discipline is already in the row field. Total book sales field as a values. It is in the values field. You can see this. And copyright field in the column. Where is the copyright field? So there are two methods to put that field in the column. First of all, and the most formal way is to just right click and add to the column label. Just remove it. I'm just removing it to show the other method. You can just drag and put it here. You have just dragged that and put it here, and what it is saying, you have to remove the extra field. So book title field has no space in our pivot table, therefore it is removed. And now you can save your file. I told you almost in every video, after every step, that please save your work after each step, so it will save you from, and it will make you save from lot of troubles. Okay, so step number 6 is also done. Now we are moving on to the step number 7 of our assignment, and it is saying that you will format the values in the pivot table to look more professional and change the custom name that displays as column heading. Click or select cell B5. Where is B5? There we go. Display the value field setting dialog box. Right click and value field setting. This is how to display the value field setting dialog box. Just click that and it will open that dialog box. You can drag it here so you can easily see your fields and put anything required by the instructor, and type sales by discipline as a custom name. Sales by discipline as a custom name, and apply accounting number format with 0 decimal places. how we can change the format. You can change it from here, number format. This is a counting number format with how many decimal places? With 0 decimal places. You can change the decimal places from here. There we go, but we have to make it 0, and we have to put the symbol also. Put the symbol of $sign and then just click the OK. There we go. When you click OK, it will just make that field, make the value field appear in a counting number format with 0 decimal place and with a $sign. So you can see here how to do the step number 7. I have shown you very clearly. I think it will now be clear to you. So step number 8 is saying that you want to replace the generic row label and column label heading with a meaningful heading. So this is the why it is calling generic, because we have not given this name. It has automatically generated by the Excel. When we created the recommended pivot table, Excel gave these labels the name. So that's why it is calling. I can call it that table has inherited from the Excel, inherited or generic. So these are the generic names, but we can change them. We can change them, like it is asking us that type discipline in A4. Where is A4? There we go. And type here discipline. Discipline, press enter. There we go. And copyright year in cell B3. Where is B3? There we go. This is B3, and we have to write here copyright year. Just press enter after writing these names. So I have changed the generic names first of all to the discipline, and first A4 to discipline, and then B3 to copyright year. So next part of this step number 8 is this. We have to select the range B4 to E4. Where is B4? To E4. What we have to do, and center the labels horizontally. Center the label. You can center from here, and you can also center by pressing Ctrl A. So it will not work. It's not working. You have to do this. So it has now centered our label, and the next part will be, so we are done with step number 8 of our assignment. Now we are moving on to the step number 9. So this is step number 9, and it's about a formula. Formula what I will tell you. On the books data worksheet, here is the books data worksheet. Sorry, this is books data worksheet. You want to insert function that will display total sales and the total introductory discipline sales from the pivot table. Okay. You will change the retail unit price rates from 30% to 25%, and then refresh the pivot table. It is saying that display the books data worksheet. I already have displayed that. In cell B1, enter get pivot data function to, in cell B1. This is B1, and we have to enter get. I will show you that I can generate the results for that formula and without putting a function. So just put the equal sign. What it want to get the value from cell B10 in the pivot table worksheet, F10 in the pivot table worksheet. This is pivot table, and put the F10. Press enter. You can see this. It is automatically given the formula of get pivot data. So you don't need to put that formula. If you put that formula, it will double put that. Okay, so that's why I'm not putting the data, I'm just putting the equal sign and making it a 3D reference to that cell in the pivot table. So next what we need to do, in cell B2 enter the get pivot data function to get the value from cell F7 in cell B2. This is B2, put the equal sign, and from where we have to get the data from pivot table, cell F7 in the pivot table. Where is F7? Sorry, pivot table, and F7, this is F6, this is F7. Okay, so just put the enter sign and it will give us the data. So both of these values are now found by the get pivot data, get data from the pivot table or get pivot data formula. So we are done with this part of our step number 9, this portion of our step number 9. Now second portion is here, change the value in cell J1 to 125. Where is J1? 1 to 5%, 125%. Press enter and then refresh the pivot table. Now when you refresh the pivot table, it will change the values here. You will see the magic. For refreshing the pivot data, you have to go to the pivot analyze, type pivot table analyze, and then refresh the, where is the refresh button? Sorry, here it will be. So here is the button to refresh the pivot table. Just click refresh all. When you refresh all, data here will also be changed because of the books data. Why it is changing the data? Because we have generated this pivot table from data in that table. Okay, so this was the magic of step number 9. I have shown you 9 steps of this assignment. If you want me to do this assignment for you, just hit me back on WhatsApp or email. I can help you in full course, doing this full course. I can help you do this assignment for you. You can just hit me back on WhatsApp or email. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in another video. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to contact for the solution of this assignment, or if you need help with simulation exam, simulation training, final exam or full course, I can do the other courses like accounting, finance, mathematics, all writing stuff, operation management, business finance, business accounting, cost accounting, managerial accounting. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video.